Hey everyone, I hope you've had a great day so far and that you're doing well. For this video, we'll be going through a unboxing of the Gundam G40 Industrial Design version clear color. That's a bit of a mouthful. And this was released by Bandai back in 2020. So, as you can probably see in the top left corner, this is a Expo kit. In that sense, it's basically a limited edition kit. So I'll say unintentionally, missed out on grabbing the G40 industrial design when it was first initially released, thinking it'll come back. Yeah, it didn't come back. So I was a little disappointed because I think I remember seeing a few reviews of it and naturally thought that actually isn't too bad looking. So was able to grab a clear color version of the G40. I'm usually quite partial to clear color kits. So I thought, hey, between being a clear color, being the G40, why not? I didn't have it before, so this wasn't a bad way of, I dare say, getting two birds with one stone. So yeah, there we have it, a exclusive kit that I definitely do look forward to having a better look at. So, pretty basic front of the box. It's obviously not monochrome because you can see the color, but it takes a bit of a page out of P Bandai kits in that there's no actual graphic art behind the labeling, just purely Gundam G40, and obviously a collaboration between Bandai Hobby Center and Ken Okuyama Design. Feel free to correct me if I didn't pronounce it correctly. As I said, this was yeah, the original one I think was in 2020, so this is just a the same G40 just in clear. So that's the front. If we have a look at the bottom, so we've got a nice pose of the G40 and a bit of a blurb as to what's happening. Let's see if I can move this down so the ring light's not in the way. Then over here we have a bit more of the front and the back of the G40 and a little bit more of some text. It also says there will be a 28-page special art book in here, so it's not just plastic. Side of the box, other side of the box, and the top of the box. So yeah, the boxes shares a lot of parallels with a P Bandai box in that there isn't a lot on it other than the bottom of the box. So if we crack open that nice black lid, let's see what we have inside. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4 bags of runners. We have the instruction manual, which is definitely more like a P Bandai, just pure instructions on how to build the G40. And then underneath it, I'm going to assume, remove this insert, there is the actual design booklet. So that'll actually be kind of cool to look at. So I'm just going to chuck this insert away because I'm not going to need it after this. So back in. So what I will do is I will crack open these bags of runners, and we will have a better look at what was included. Okay, so now with everything out of the bags, I guess we'll have a look at the instruction booklet. Now this will be an interesting one because I never had the original, so I don't know what Bandai have done here. So being basic instruction manual, there isn't anything too much going on. But interestingly, so here's the parts list. As you'll see, I was actually quite surprised. So the C runner, there are literally 4 C runners, 2 in grey, 2 in white. Similarly, the B runner has a clear white version and a grey version, where there are some parts basically overlapping. So what I'm going to envision is certain parts of each runner will not be used. So looking at this, so for this particular shaded in box, parts will not be used, removed before assembly. So we'll use all the A runner that's provided, beam saber effects, sticker sheet, and then on the B runner, majority of the white will be used, and some bits of grey, probably for joints. Majority of the white runner will be used with external armor, and then the grey for the joints. So be interesting to know how they did this for the original version, because I'm assuming the original version would have done the exact same thing. It's almost like they printed entire parts for no real reason. But anyway, I will not question the madness. I will accept it for what it is. So there you go. So there's all the runners. Was a bit more information. This is probably a blessing having both English and Japanese. So B and C parts come in 2 color options, white and grey, as we'll see. To avoid mistakes during assembly, use the below image to discard unnecessary parts from the runner in advance. Now, me being me, I'll probably do it in the reverse. I will cut out the parts that I want, put them into a plastic box, and then probably snip out the other parts into a plastic bag. So that's parts lists. Now, how does this instruction booklet work? Different one. So, building the head. Head is normal. Well, head is a head, but it is obviously built slightly differently from how we're used to building heads. The main body, looking at how it's built, is definitely different, although very snazzy. And moving across, the backpack. Once again, different. Right arm, left arm, the feet. I'm assuming this is where things start to open up. Right leg, left leg. Just realised that I don't even know if I've had this in the camera half the time. And then just move this over. Waist, legs, putting everything together. Beam sabers, rifle, shield, and obviously how to affix everything together. And I think it's actually quite cool at the very end. It's the actual clear version and not the original G40 that would have been in its solid colours. So, it's actually not a bad instruction booklet at all. Very quick and easy. So yeah, actually, especially looking at all the bits that are actually not used, it actually doesn't feel like it will be too strenuous a build. When you look at the runners, you actually think that there is a lot to do, but there actually isn't. Have a quick look at the foil stickers. 2 different coloured eyes. Number 4, I'm assuming, is for the crotch. And number 3, I want to say either very long camera or maybe something on the beam saber. Not beam saber, beam rifle, maybe. But how cool is that, having a very small sticker sheet? So that was the sticker sheet. Before we get too involved, I guess the main thing to look at, pull out a book. Second main thing to look at. So this is the actual included book before we have a look at the actual runners. Okay, this is interesting that it says 2019, so I'm just wondering if they either printed this early or if something else was at play. So obviously detailing of the crossover. I probably won't go in every single page in full detail, but if anyone wants a bit more of a breakdown of the pages in a bit more detail, feel free to put something in the comments. I'll probably do another video about the booklet. It is 28 pages. So there's the original G40 in its solid colours, which, to be honest, I mean, even looking at that, it does look really cool. I do wish in hindsight I did keep an order for one. So we go through bits about Ken Okuyama. And then a bit more bits and pieces, so it is nice that it's both in Japanese and English. Some nice pictures, a bit more text about the design, direction. So this is parts of the Hobby Centre team. One of these days I wouldn't mind finding out if the Hobby Centre, if it can actually be visited. I'm assuming it can be, but that'd be a nice thing to be able to do. So some discussion about the craftsmanship, all your sketch designs. So I'm sure it would have gone through many iterations, given it was trying to obviously be more industrial and not so much what we've been used to. In fact, here's some various sketches down here. Actually, some of these styles really aren't that bad. Some of them are actually quite nice. Final drawing of the actual G40 and some more design sketches, articulation, then obviously looking into some more of your CGI designs and movements, more sketches, more 3D imaging, obviously the final design, as we know, the actual G40 kit itself, and some various posing, a colour guide, which is very nice, and yeah, there was a special G40 movie apparently, well, probably more so at the Hobby Centre, well, I would imagine so. Obviously a bit of a timeline of Gunpla, there you go, 1980 through to, well, it's obviously 2021 now, but 41 years. Is anything in the back? Or was it just the Gundam G40? So that's such a very cool booklet. As I said, if anyone wants to know a bit more, this is obviously was exclusive to the kit and not everyone got the kit. More than happy to do another video to focus on that. Anyway, runners. So here we have the A runner in its multicolour goodness. So we've got clear blue, yellow and red, and I will admit they do look very nice as clear. And then a lot of the solid grey in the middle. it's almost like a gunmetal grey. It does seem to have a very slightly shiny appearance about it. Not sure how well it will show up on the camera, but the detailing on the beam rifle is quite interesting. But I guess the industrial version is trying to be somewhat, I don't want to say necessarily lifelike, but I guess true to mechanics of the modern era. So that was the A runner. I'll do the B runner separately actually. So this is the B1 runner. So this is in the clear white. Clear? It's hard to say. I mean, it looks pearlescent. Well, it's not pearlescent. We'll call it clear white. It's got bits of the shield, armor. So a lot of the armor parts will be saved from this runner. Some of these joints, I believe, will be replaced by the grey ones in the B1, B2 runner. So the next runner is basically has this wedge in here, but everything else is also in grey. So if I pull the grey version of B1, so B1 basically all of this, all of that, in that grey. And once again, it's actually quite interesting that they give you so much G40 goodness in different colours. And then B2 is pretty much the hand manipulators. There's a few different options there. But my goodness, some of that detail on that hand is very surprising. And that should just be a open hand by the looks of it. But there you go. Sure, it looks pretty nice as well. So those were the B runners. So the C runners. Put one down. So this is the clear white version of the C runner, which these two are exactly the same. So external armor parts, and I'm sure there's probably some joints in here. So most of these I'm sure will be used for this particular version of the G40. And oddly enough, here is the grey versions of the C runner. Exact copy. And if I can overlay this in such a way, you can hopefully realize, oh wow, it's now like a three-dimensional copy. So I'll get rid of these ones. The grey version is pretty much the same as the white version, but I suspect it's mainly for some of the joints, not so much the external armour. That's still very nice looking, and once again it has that somewhat gunmetal type finish about it. And then lastly we have our beam saber effects. So this is SB13. If it ever gets into focus. That kind of works. SB13, so this one will have your rounded base, not your okay, I'll stop that. Yeah, rounded base and not your flat end. So that's the SP runner. So there you have it, the G40 Gundam at the 1 to 144 scale. So this is the industrial design version, but this being a Gunpla Expo kit, this is a limited clear color version. And yes, it actually does look very, very cool once done. Yes, and going back to what I said about the booklet, if you want a bit more information out of that, feel free to leave a comment. Didn't exactly put everything into the camera view, but there is some nice content in there, especially if there's anything that needs to be read out. thanks for watching this video. Feel free to leave a like or comment, and if you haven't done so, subscribe to the channel, and if you do, feel free to hit that notification bell. Extra content can also be found on my Instagram account, and there will also be a link to that in the description. Thanks again for your support to help grow this channel. It's greatly appreciated. Stay safe and take care, and I will catch you all in the next video. See ya!